What's good, everybody? It's your boy K-Dot. Yeah, I'm in the little thing right now. I know I didn't feel like getting dressed. Whatever. Look, I love how James Gunn handled this whole situation with the Earth X dad from Peacemaker season 2. So, this is what the twist is. I mean, another twist. Peacemaker's dad on this Nazi Earth, once they find out it's a Nazi Earth, isn't a Nazi. He doesn't agree with the stuff the Nazis do. And his kids, that's what I like about it too. Because we don't know how much of a good dad he is. We don't know. But clearly, and even James Gunn said it, his kids fell to the wayside a bit. I mean, the Chris that got killed was on drugs, had anger issues. We even seen it from Harcourt's Harcourt too, and how she even talked about him. And Keith, and this is what I feel like Keith is. Think about it like this, y'all. Keith is one of those, I don't know. He's one of those guys, right? Who, let's say, is watching red pill content without actually fully realizing he's watching red pill content. He was probably embraced by so many people, and other people didn't embrace him growing up. So he lingers on to this group because they embrace him, but he's supporting some weird shit. I want to talk about how James Gunn handled it. This is what I really like about it. Because this thing, and I even seen some people's reaction to it. We'll look at this for an example here, right? Let's go to this person's tweet, right? They said, Chris's dad is equivalent of people in Nazi Germany who didn't agree with the regime but didn't leave or rebel against it. He's complicit in fascism. He literally has power armor. He can make a difference. That's why he still dies, because he upholds an oppressive system. Now let's look at some comments. This person said, the fucking old man can do against his people. Let's look at another comment. The kill everyone I don't like or you're a spineless sympathizer type of anti-fascist is so bizarre to me. Why aren't you in the Middle East right now taking out people in Saudi Arabia for abusing women? Not going to stand against injustice? Guess you supported them, right? And what power is supposed to do against him? Yeah, exactly. What is the power armor supposed to do against Overman? And look, let me show y'all something. Let's look at what happened to Augie too. The Nazis won World War II in this universe, meaning things have changed. The Nazis were probably first to get to space. They were probably first to drop the nuclear bomb and make it in this iteration of the universe. And also, let's remember this too, especially about America. America has so many influences in so many different continents and still have them colonized in a way, whether it be their ideology or actually physically colonizing that motherfucker. The Nazis did the same thing too, because it's not just America that is under Nazi control. Africa, other parts of the world. We don't exactly know this, but let's be a little bit realistic. The Nazis aren't just overseeing America. They obviously have roots in so many other countries too. So many other countries, right? And continents. Augie too is one man. Him and his fucking power armor. Let's look at this. Couldn't even do a vigilante. So this is the man that can do something against the whole Nazi regime that has control over a majority of the land. You guys. And who knows what allies they have too. And this is the thing too. You can be a good person. And without you even fully trying to commit to doing it, indirectly support evil in some way. I'll give y'all an example. The U.S. and Israel are allies. The U.S. helps fund Israel with some stuff. They trade and shit, right? They share things. Us Americans, I mean, hopefully most of us don't agree with what's happening in Palestine. In a way, our tax-paying money is going towards supporting them. Okay. So does that make you bad? No, it doesn't make you bad. Because just hear me out. It doesn't make you bad. If you don't pay your taxes, you can go to jail for it. Most of us are scared to go to prison and are not willing to do that if we don't even have majority of people backing us in that. I'm not saying a few brave souls wouldn't do that, but majority of us are not doing that. Does that mean we are complicit and okay with what's happening? No. It's just, that's just the system we are stuck in. Because if you don't pay your taxes, jail time. That's what they use as a threat to make you want to keep doing this stuff. And then they take our taxpayer money and go pay for stuff that we don't want to support, and then they go do it. But that doesn't mean we're complicit with it. You know, look, you can be a good person and walk past a homeless person and not give them $1. Right? Some people are like, "Oh, you a bad? Why didn't you help that homeless person? You know he needs some help. He's struggling out on these streets. He needs something to eat." Now, if you was rude about it, like, hey, fuck you, get a job or something. But that's different. But if you literally didn't have $1 that you couldn't give to him, hey, you couldn't give it to him. But let's be real though. Most of y'all, especially in America, especially if you're an adult, you have a debit card or a credit card. So, anyway, and this is another thing too. There's workarounds because, okay, I can't give you $1 bill, but I have money on my card. Okay, we're near a gas station. What do you want to eat?
Hurry up and buy!
Cause even you guys, I walked past a homeless person. It was like weeks ago or whatever, and they asked me for money. They're asking for cash. I didn't have cash. I don't really carry cash like that too much. I had money on my card though, and I was like, well, we're near a gas station. I can get us something to eat. Because I would be lying if I don't know. I don't got it. Like, I do got it. I could help you. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get you something expensive. I'm going to get you something. But I can get you something. I'd be lying if I said I couldn't help you. But I understand, even if someone who had the money didn't want to do it. Because, look, we all struggling, bruh. And we need every single dollar that we can get. We all struggling. But let's be real though. Y'all can spare $1. Y'all can spare $1. But it's okay if you can't. Because if money is really tight. So I understand if you didn't. Does that make you good or bad? No, it's like, it depends. You can call it good or bad if you want to. But I can understand and not fully dislike somebody if they did that. Right? I know I'm not saying all these are the equivalent. Just throwing out some examples. But one thing here that kind of, like, this dude, Augie too is not a bad dude. Because with how level-headed he is being with someone who killed his son. Like, you guys, mind you, if this was, well, no, he wouldn't even care if Chris or Keith died. If we was on the other, he would call them pussies for getting themselves killed. He wouldn't care. Shit, he really wouldn't care. But look how level-headed he is about listening to this explanation about what happened to his son. Like, he's being very calm and cordial. He's trying to keep his son calm.
Learn about this place.
There's 2 more besides us.
Is one of them a black woman?
Why?
I saw her. I was chasing her.
Why the fuck were you doing that, Keith?
I thought she got out, Dad.
That's not what we're supposed to do. Jesus, haven't you boys ever learned anything?
That woman is my best friend.
Look at that too. Right? Now, we don't exactly know what Augie 2 be doing. All we know is this, though. Peapot led in them Nazi cops, though.
You saved our lives by murdering a couple dozen innocent people.
Cops around here ain't innocent, girlie. Far from it. That's the first thing you gotta learn about this place.
He did his thing.
Is one of them a black woman?
Why?
I saw her. I was chasing her.
Why the fuck were you doing that, Keith?
I thought she got out, Dad.
That's not what we're supposed to do. Jesus, haven't you boys ever learned anything?
That woman is my best friend. I'm not gonna let anything happen to her.
I didn't say anything was gonna happen to her.
I like that little moment right there, because Augie's like, why are you doing that? You know, I didn't teach you to do that. Yeah, there's other people doing it, but I didn't teach you to do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you joining them other white people in the street chasing this black woman? You know? It's like Augie can't control his son who's an adult. His son is an adult now. And ultimately, you guys, when you get older, your parents are partly responsible for what you eventually become, but they're not 100% responsible. Because it gets to a point where you got to start taking responsibility for your own life, and you're eventually going to start to do your own thing, which are going to create your own consequences for yourself. And then it's out of your parents' control at some point. It is. Even when you're a kid, there's some things our parents cannot control. Like when we go to school for 8 hours, that is 8 hours where you can be influenced by anything and whatever. And your parents cannot do nothing about it. Unless they homeschooled you and kept you in the house 24/7. But your parents can only have so much influence where to the point where it's their fault. But we also, at some point, need to take responsibility for our own lives. So, yeah, he's generally disappointed. Like, yo, bro, why are you chasing a black person? I didn't raise you guys to do that. But I'll be honest with you. I think Keith is probably... I meant to add this into the video, but Keith is literally one of those people that are influenced by the world around him. Because his dad clearly does not co-sign that stuff. So he's not going to teach his son to partake in that stuff. But if his son is partaking in it, and mind you, we did not see this man's... We did not know how they grew up. This is me make my assumptions just like how you guys are also valid in making your assumptions too about this universe, which we really don't know much about or the scope of. Only thing we really know is that the Nazis won World War II here. Peacemaker is loved by multiple people here. But at the end of the day, Chris and Keith in this universe were influenced by the world. The world's influence clearly overpowered what their dad has taught them, which happens often. And to be fair, we don't know the extent of how good of a dad Augie 2 is. We don't know if he's a good dad here or a bad dad. But compared to the dad that Chris grew up with, this guy is 10 times better. From what little that we have seen. Because of how level-headed he was to tolerate a conversation with a man who killed his son. And if you're a father, tell me if you agree with this or not. But would you entertain a conversation with another grown person that took your child's life? No. You're going to be filled with too much rage to the point where you just want to tear their head off. Because why'd you kill my child? But this man here, and this is Augie letting his morality overpower any bias. He took his bias of Chris being his son out of this to hear out this other Chris. And that's why I say his level-headedness really says a lot about his character. Because most people and most adults will not be mature enough to have that conversation. To really hear out someone that did what they did to their own child and hear the justifications for it. Whether they was in the right or not. Because whether you're in the right or not, if you was confronted by a parent and you took their child's life, whether you was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You took out their child. The bloodthirst is in their eyes when they're looking at you. They want you gone. And as I say, they're going to directly do it. They would like to do it. But just know that's there. But yeah, the world got to them. So at the end of the day, I mean, yeah. Your parents only have so much influence. Your parents only have so much responsibility. But I'm not here saying that parents don't bear no responsibility, because that's ridiculous. Just like how Jeffrey Dahmer's parents bear responsibility for what Jeffrey Dahmer became. Are they also guilty for Jerry Dahmer killing all those people? No, depends. But they saw the signs and could have dealt with it. But his morality has some inconsistency to it, just like most people. Most people's morality is inconsistent. You have people that are Christian, right? You have people that are Christian, right? That be listening to rap, drill music and shit. They'll be listening to 21 Savage talking about, ooh, I'm walking around the corner gunning niggas down. How are you Christian and supporting that? Like, make it make sense. Would Jesus be endorsing that? No. But y'all still listen to it. But does that make you bad people, though? No. Because a lot of people do negative stuff and can still be good people. There's people that are good people who play Grand Theft Auto, right? And they fantasize running over people and killing people. It's weird. But they're not real people. But it's still weird, though, that you're fantasizing about murdering people and you got the opportunity to pretend to murder people and you are, like, fully, like, going ballistic about it. Like, you're enjoying it. It's a little sick, but whatever. You know, it's kind of thing. Everyone's a little sick. Let's keep it a buck. There's people, right, who, you know, there's people who you can still be good and not have the ability and power to overcome many of the evil things that we come across. There's people that are good people, but are, for example, they'll have someone in their family that could be a pedophile. And they're so scared to tell the whole world about it or even tell law enforcement about it. Does that make them bad people, though? Because you have to understand why they wouldn't do that, though. You have to really understand. One, let's say it's their parent. They're already biased. This is their parent, this person who raised them. So it's hard for them to even do that. Two, if they do that, there is a consequence where you can be casted out by your own family. Because it's like, there's a lot of families that are so fucking dirty that if you were to, for example, call out your family shielding someone who was selling drugs, like hard drugs people, actually killing people, selling fentanyl and shit, and there's someone in the family that's so well respected that everybody like, they'll be willing to cast out one person just to protect this other person that really does not deserve to be protected. Because if you valued your morality, your personal morality over family and stuff and friends or whatever, and you wouldn't let your family or friends jeopardize your morality that you have, you wouldn't mess with your family protecting someone in the family that is going against your morality, especially when all of y'all agree that this is wrong, but y'all are shielding the person in the family that is doing this wrongful shit. But y'all have to understand why some people, even good people, have to move smart. Augie, and the person who said Augie has power armor, right? Let's go back to that tweet. Power armor does not destroy a whole system. You guys, the governments that dominate the world just don't dominate the world through physical power. They have slowly indoctrinated people into stuff, dominated cultures, colonized certain other people's cultures. Like, it is deeply rooted in so much stuff. Like, pushing out certain people's religious views and making other religions more dominant than the other, so they can snuff them other religions out. Like, you guys, it is a bigger system. That's why the racism that is happening in the USA, I'm sorry, but you can't just fight it with physical means. I'm sorry. It takes more than physical means. Words. Thinking. Like, being a diplomat about stuff. I don't know. But it takes much more than physically fighting. Hell, it's like, even in wars, people aren't constantly fighting. There's even times where they have meetings and stuff and treaties and shit. Because as it get to a point where, like, we got to stop fucking physically bashing each other in the face so we can listen to each other and talk. But, you know, you guys, Augie in this earth, to me, not a bad person. Is he a bystander to stuff? Yeah, most of us are. There's a lot of people that have seen people get raped and kept walking past it in public. There has been people that'll go to a party, right? A girl could be upstairs getting and taken advantage of by multiple people. Majority of the party know about it, and everybody act like it don't happen and split and just turn the other cheek. I'm not saying they are good people or bad people, but there's people that yap out their mouth like, I stand on this. but don't consistently stand on that. Because I'll be honest with you, you can't always consistently stand on what you really want to do. Because you have to play things smart sometimes. There's people that'll say, man, ain't nobody ever going to talk to me reckless, but let their boss talk to them reckless. Well, we understand why you are accepting that. Because this person is who handles your check. And at the moment, you probably don't have nothing better to get. And that's fine. Because we understand why you're doing that. You went against what you believe in. But at times you have to. That's just what happens. But it shouldn't be that way though. You just because someone is your boss shouldn't give them the right to talk to you any way, shape, or form. But if y'all want to stop stuff like that, it takes multiple people standing together to push back against something. One person can get something started, but you need more people along with it, and a great number of people. Augie and the Sons of Liberty are not going to take down the whole Nazi regime that has infested the world. It takes so much more in a long time for all that. But overall, I like this episode. This episode hit. It got me in the feels. That whole final sequence in the house, everything was just so beautiful. It was sad. It was beautiful how James Gunn wrote it. And I like how he handled this little twist. Augie in the Nazi world is a good guy. But Augie is a Nazi in the world where Nazis are low-key, are high-key shunned. Like, if we come to find you a Nazi, like, bro, you getting roasted, bro. You are getting roasted. You follow a idiotic ideology, and you think we want to let you coexist with us with that, and we not on that? No, chill with that. I love how he handled it, because you can be a good person and end up being stuck having to be complicit with some stuff. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, but that's why the battle between good and bad, and mind you, good and bad is subjective. Right? The good and bad is subjective. It is. It's very subjective. There's no set standard. I don't care what religion you believe, because all these other religions, I'll be honest with y'all, are fabricated by man's morality. And every human is different. There's some people that can agree on certain things, but we are different. Okay? And everybody, there is no set standard of morality, because our morality is based on what we humans think is good or bad. Like, we have to create for ourselves what's good, what's bad. Like, we really have to think about it. But this episode was peak. Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. I loved it. You guys, I'll talk about other DC stuff coming up soon, but I just wanted to drop this video because I really like this episode. I don't know, man. Something about these Gunn was not lying when he said episode 6 to, we're not at 8, but we're at 7 is about to hit. The emotional feels in these past 2 episodes were so dope. So dope. The only thing I wish we got more of was seeing Peacemaker hang out with his dad and stuff in this other universe, or hang out with Keith more. I think maybe a little bit more development there. That's why I'll say my one critique of this show. I have other critiques, but this is my one major critique. The episodes are just too short compared to last season. And, me personally, it's no excuse for an 8-episode show to be having these short run times. Like, we used to have shows with over 20 episodes a season, but we understood why they were short. You dragged out the episode runtime because you're trying to, maybe flesh out a story more, or y'all just made enough money to keep making more episodes. Who knows? But we understand why the episodes were shorter. The episodes are more compact now, meaning you should increase the runtime of each episode. That's why they can do these higher budgets now, because they are increasing the episode count, and they can pack more into these episodes. But Gunn said the final episode is supposed to be over 57 minutes. But that doesn't mean I'm not satisfied with what I'm getting. I like the content. I like the storytelling. This season is not as action-packed as the first season, but the storytelling, like the character development, And me liking these characters is working for me. It's working for me personally. I can't speak for nobody else, but it's working for me. And I enjoy it. I like it. I love it. Episode 8 better go crazy. It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna go crazy. This finale is about to be epic. I like what James Gunn is doing. Superman was a success. It's a success for the studio. David Zaslav deemed it worthy enough, and they want to make more. Because another thing about DC, especially Superman in live action, I'm sorry, but Warner Brothers damaged the reputation of Superman in live action. And we have to remember, yes, comic books exist, you guys, but more people are visually watching stuff now, like moving media, movies and shit, compared to reading. That's just what it is, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's most of these movies that increase the fame of these characters. And I'll be honest, you have to be careful with these movies. These movies will determine how majority of the population feel about a character. Look what the MCU did to Hulk. Majority of people think Hulk is a weak son of a bitch. But no, Hulk is powerful as shit in the comics. The anger he gets, the more powerful he gets. In the MCU, they got people thinking that Hulk doesn't get more powerful the angrier he gets. Because in the MCU, he doesn't. He doesn't get stronger the angrier he gets. Which is a drastic change from the comic. But we understood why they did that. Because if you did that, you make him too OP. Was it an okay change? No. Because if you can't write stories of OP characters, then you don't know how to handle those characters. Just don't touch them. Because you can write interesting stories with OP characters. Just depends how you write it. Someone can do it. It's been done multiple times. Superman's an OP character. But he has tons of good stories. Tons of good stories. And he's been getting stories made of him since the 40s to now. But he's one of the most OP characters in fiction. He literally pulled planets with a chain. That's OP. That is ridiculous. But he pulled multiple planets with a chain. That motherfucker is powerful. So look. I know I'm rambling. But I'm just want to talk about the DC for a bit. I'm satisfied with what we are getting so far. And Gunn, I'm not going to lie. As John Campion said, he is helping rehabilitating the DC audience. And other people that have seen DC in a different light. He's been doing that. And mind you, this is coming from someone that's paying attention to what's happening like on different social medias, TikTok, Instagram, many more. People are loving this stuff. It's now back to a point where Snyder fans are like just seen as like some weirdos in the corners when it's talking about this new DC stuff. It's like, bruh, yeah, just go chill in the corner. Like it's back to normal. It's back to a regularly scheduled program. DC is coming back up, and it needs to rebuild itself. It has to. DC is not at a height to where they can just drop any bullshit and get away with it for a bit. Marvel got away with that for years, and now they're seeing the effects of it with Phase 4 to 6. But they're not at that point. I hope they don't get to that point to where they just start being sloppy just because they think we big. But it's gonna happen. When people get too big, they get sloppy. But you guys, I want to thank you all for watching. I know this was a lot. Peace, love, positivity, all that jazz. Don't do drugs. Like I always say, deuces. Peacemaker, you deserve that dad and that brother. I mean, aside from chasing black people, but you know that can be rehabilitated. Oh, and another thing too, craziest thing, but this is so true. This dad, I think he likes this Chris more than his own Chris, bruh. And I would too. The other Chris was crazy, bruh. He tried to kill nice Chris. Like, bro, that's good Chris. You crazy. But he didn't know that. Deuces.
But I also believe this kid when he said he didn't purposely try to murder.
What did you do? What did you do?